The Savior alone carried the cross for all of my dear. He paid the cost. Salvation complete. Now forever I'm free. Calvary covers it all. Calvary covers it all. My sin and shame don't count anymore. All praise to the one who has ransomed my soul. Calvary covers it all. No power on earth, not even the grave, can separate us from mercy and grace. He is faithful to save. Oh, His blood never fails. Calvary covers it all. Calvary covers it all. My sin and shame don't count anymore. All praise to the one who has ransomed my soul. Calvary covers it all. No one but Jesus could make us pure as snow. We stand in your freedom. Calvary covers it all. Calvary covers it all. My sin and shame don't count anymore. All praise to the one who has ransomed my soul. Calvary covers it all. Calvary covers it all. My sin and shame don't count anymore. All praise to the one who has ransomed my soul. Calvary covers it all. All praise to the one who has ransomed my soul. Calvary covers it all.
Hello, good day to everyone. Well, today we're going to look at this topic, a very peculiar topic actually, that asks the question, what is so good about Good Friday? You know, Christians observe Good Friday. And what is the meaning behind Good Friday? It's over the death of one innocent, very good man. And if you are a non-believer, you will say, wow, these Christians, they are weird. How can they be celebrating, commemorating the death of a man? I mean, he was so brutally tortured. You know, a few years ago, there's this movie, Passion of the Christ. It was released by this producer, Mel Gibson. And different response come from different quarters. Christians, they want to watch the movie. They want to see how vividly the suffering that Jesus had to go through. On the other hand, the non-Christians, they stay away from the movie because they say, how can you Christians be celebrating and be watching a movie on how you torture one innocent man. You know, if we look at our realm, it's very understandable. Yeah, good people don't die. Yeah, if good people are tortured, if good people are treated badly, we have a lot of people championing their rights. You know, we have so many right groups, championing for animal right, this right, women's right, men's right, whatever rights. Yeah, there'll be people be protesting if what happened to Jesus during his time were to happen today. But then, when you read the Bible, it gives us a different picture on why and how badly was Jesus treated and the reason behind all this. I'd like to read to you one passage in the Bible in the book of Isaiah. It's a very popular passage. Yeah, a passage that often preachers refer to during Good Friday services. And not only that, this is a passage in the Old Testament that gives us a prophecy, that is foretelling of a servant who would come, and that what he had to endure, which was something that God has planned it. Yeah, and it is something that has been prepared by God. And this person, he willingly endures such suffering because of one important purpose, so that he can redeem people like you and I to stand righteous before a holy God. Allow me to read to you this passage on the suffering and glory of the servant. And it began from chapter 52 in the book of Isaiah. It says this: "See, my servant will act wisely. He will be raised and lifted up and highly exalted." Just as there were many who were upheld at him, his appearance was so disfigured, beyond that of any man, and his form marred beyond human likeness. So will he sprinkle many nations, and kings will shut their mouths because of him. For what they were not told, they will see, and what they have not heard, they will understand. Who has believed our message? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and familiar with suffering, like one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he took up our infirmities and carried our sorrows, yet we considered him stricken by God, smitten by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, and he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And who can speak of his descendants? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people he was stricken. He was assigned a grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death, though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life a guilt offering, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. After the suffering of his soul, he will see the light of life and be satisfied. By his knowledge, My righteous servant will justify many, and he will bear their iniquities. Therefore I will give him a portion among the great, and he will divide the spoils with the strong. Because he poured out his life unto death, and was numbered with the transgressions. For he bore the sins of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Now this Bible passage, this prophecy actually tells us the perfect sacrifice that God has prepared for you and I. Now someone had to go through all this so that he can fully understand the needs of humanity. You know, if someone has not gone through it, how would he represent you before God? How would he know the intense sorrow, the intense pain that you and I may experience along our life? But there he was. Jesus experienced the worst of the worst, so that whatever problem that we may encounter, he knows. And he can identify with all of our trouble. And that made him that worthy sacrifice to stand in our place, to bear the punishment of us all, so that you and I can be made righteous and stand before a holy God. What is so good about Good Friday? Because unworthy as we are, as wretched as we are, we have a God who loves us so much that he is willing to bear all the sins and suffering upon his shoulders, so that whatever punishment that is rightfully ours, he bare it upon his shoulders. And with that, he made us righteous, that we can stand before a holy God. What is so good about Good Friday? We have a God who loves us so much. What is so good about Good Friday? Unworthy as we are, there's still a God who wants us to come back to him. What is so good about Good Friday? It is because there is a God who is loving us, who is watching us, who is caring for all of our needs. That is the reason why we celebrate Good Friday. And I hope you too will experience a meaningful, wonderful Good Friday this year. Despite what's happening in the world out there, we know we have hope, because Jesus came, Jesus bare it all, and Jesus is resurrected. And as he said, by his wounds we are healed. Have a good Good Friday.
Thank you for the cross, Lord. Thank you for the price you paid, bearing all my sin and shame. In love you came, gave amazing grace. Thank you for this love, Lord. Thank you